I've decided to record and show you the process for my versions of the 7 into summer prompts. Although I do have many followers on Instagram, the platform is not as fulfilling as it used to be. Over the years, it has been an amazing way to connect and discover new artists, which I have really enjoyed. However, there are aspects of Instagram which I'm not comfortable with these days. It's really difficult for many of us not to be drawn into the drama of reaching for likes and the whole comparison thing. I'm sure you've heard this before, but likes are absolutely not a measure of your creative worth as an artistic individual. And furthermore, seeing 2, 3 or 4 different images of your painting or illustration doesn't tell the whole story. In some respects, it's like a false narrative. If it's taken at face value, it really can't give a full picture, pardon the pun. I often feel these images can't capture all of the effort it's taken to reach a final stage. If you followed me on Instagram for a while, you know when I create sketchbook pieces, I often show time-lapse videos or process shots, but these can't convey the thought process and the decisions I've made. The videos I've recorded for this set are fairly long, about 20 to 25 minutes of me covering an A4 page, and they really haven't been edited very much. The reasoning for this is to give you a truthful behind the scenes portrayal of the way I work, including some of the hiccups and challenges that I face. They are a mixture of tutorials and process, but also the thoughts I had as I painted, throwing in a few of my own experiences as an artist and illustrator. This longer format on YouTube gives me a much better platform to say what I want to say and explain at length how I feel, which isn't possible on an Instagram post if Instagram does show you my work in your feed. I really hope you enjoy these series of videos, so let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Thank you. Hi, thanks for joining me again. Today in the 7 into summer prompt challenge is Popsicles, and I'm going to attempt to paint 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across my sketchbook like that. I adore painting Popsicles because they are so fun and literally fail safe. So I'm going to start off here by I think I'm going to do a stripy, maybe yellow and green one. So I'm mixing up a very light wash with a lemon yellow, and we don't want to get in with too much pigment for the time being, and I do want to work fairly fast because I want to make the most of the wet on wet, but we have to be mindful of exactly what stage of drying they are. So we also have to be mindful of the cocktail sticks that will be below them. So I think the next one along is going to be yellow, yellowy orange. Actually, I might put orange slices in them. So I'm using a combination of lemon yellow and cadmium yellow because when I add the orange slices, I'd like them to contrast and to show up. And while they're in, let's just make this more popsicle shape. I think they need to be a little bit longer up here and wider at the base, just about there. And I want to drop in orange while it is or a bit more pigment while it's very wet, because it's going to do some really beautiful dramatic things like that. I don't know if this is going to work, but that I was hoping that could be the rind of the lemon that is stuck inside it. And this one I think could be green, so let's do a very pale yellow green base, maybe a tiny bit more green in that. Oh, that's too much. Should have mixed that up a little bit more. That's all right, because I could drop in some yellow onto that and it will mix on the page, and you can see it's already doing some lovely things. And if I've got slices of orange in the other one, I could put slices of kiwi in this one. So let's just drop in a little bit more green if I want that kiwi styly. That could be potentially the edge of one slice. And I might just drop one there. Lovely. You can see I'm working pretty fast. I think the next one is going to be, oh, I know what I haven't illustrated. I do watermelon a lot, but I really want to do a version where it's red. It's like an ombre watermelon effect. So the cocktail stick goes there. I can start the next one about here. Hold on, I might have to move this up a bit so that you'll see what I'm painting. I think. So the watermelon flesh is here, and then you leave a white gap, and then you add a bit of green to signify the edge, the rind. And my kids have got popsicles like this in the freezer right now. I find it a little bit too sweet. Like so. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more pigment, red and sort of a pink pigment. And when this dries, you're going to get some lovely effects happening. Only in a few places. There. I think that's going to dry lovely. The next one along, I'm not sure. Maybe that could be lemon and this could be orange. This is pretty much how I work. I have a vague plan. Sometimes I have to amend my plans, which is fine, The results are still going to be pretty good, I reckon. So I think we're gonna, could it be grapefruit perhaps? Could it be pink grapefruit? Oh, that could be something. Oh, that's nice. I'll decide. I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I just wanted to see what effects I could get within that popsicle. And this is me just having fun, which is one of the main reasons I love mucking about in my sketchbook. I just want to see what happens, and I don't have a set outcome that I'm attached to, which is probably a good thing. And the last one, because I love pink, I'm just going to do something maybe sort of a ombre pink. I'm using Opera Rose again, which is one of my absolute favourites. So if I fill in a certain shape, I think I can literally just add stripes to it. I think at the bottom it could get a little bit darker. Or do I drop in? This is another sort of me thinking on my feet. Could there be berries in there? Yeah, maybe it's a berry flavoured popsicle. Right, in that case I'm just going to add a tiny bit more pigment there. Oh, lovely. While we're here, I'm mindful that these sections at the top, they are still drying, and I'm wondering how best to approach this, because if I were to start adding segments to that orange now, I think it might spread out and you'd have something that's fairly shapeless. I wanted to add some stripes to this green one. I've seen lollies like that. I can't remember what they're called. You can tell it's been a while since I've had ice lollies anyway. I know I buy these for my kids. I think that needs a little bit more green. And the stripes need to be a bit thicker. Oh, I think it needs to go to the edge a little bit more if I introduce a bit more green. That's not bad actually. Now the next one along, I think I'm going to risk, yeah, let's make this an orange one, and we'll pretend that's pink grapefruit. I'm the artist, I'm in charge. I just want to define that rind a tiny bit more. There we go, and if I can add a segment, I don't know that it's dry enough to start seeing. No, I might be able to get away with it if I stick to this area here, which is dry. I might add another one down here because there's a bit of negative space, and I've got a thing about negative space. I just feel like I need to fill it up a bit. Can I add a segment there? A suggestion? Maybe. That's not bad. Okay. I'm sitting down, but when I got up, I realised that this segment was a bit skew-whiff, so I'm just going to introduce a tiny bit more there. Okay, moving on to this kiwi one. I've been having a little thought about this while I've been painting, and I think it might be easier to define the space around the kiwi. I'll show you what I mean. No, that's still wet. What I was trying might not work because it's still standing around. Oh, don't worry. We're going to sort this out. It's because I'm filming. I feel like I need to keep going. Okay, so if that was one slice, and if we said there was another slice here, like that, so I'm defining the outside of the kiwi, and I'm going to have to come back to that when it's dry to add the seeds. I don't know whether to use pen or watercolor, but let's move back to the watermelon here, which is starting to create some beautiful effects. I suppose I can add seeds to that. I would like just a bit more of a yellow in here, just in the rind there, just to echo what's happening in the kiwi. And that's another thing that I tend to do. I look around the page and try to introduce fairly similar colours, and then it becomes more cohesive. I don't use black, so I'll probably use a Payne's grey, and I'll add a little bit of red to that. Maybe one more seed up there. That's not a bad looking lolly. I will add the sticks in just a minute. In the background of my mind, I'm still trying to work out how I'm going to do the seeds. Even though I'm painting a different section, a different part of my brain's trying to find a solution. That's the only way I can describe it. And this is going to be pink grapefruit, so I think if I were to pretend that was one part of the rind and this is another part of the rind. Oh, that looks nice. That looks really nice. If I mix up a pinky orange, try to make a segment here, will that work? Yeah, I think it does. And try to make a segment here. Needs a little bit more pink in that, I think. Very nice. And I think I might just put one more here. Oh, lovely. I'm just going back to this orange here because I think it's just starting to dry. I know I'm doing this on camera and I'm working a little bit slower than I normally would because I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, but often I'll just go round and round and round, adding bits because they dry at different rates. That does look better, and I could actually add a segment here. I don't know if I tried to do it before and it didn't work because it was too wet in that particular area. I know I'm flitting from one thing to the other. This is actually how I work. I've just flooded that bit now. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Because when it dries, it will dry differently as well. So we're back to this kiwi dilemma, and I think I will use a smaller brush. It's still a quill brush. Let's see if it's the colour that I used on the watermelon. This section is all right actually, because that's drier. Adds to the overall feeling that this is like a juicy piece of fruity popsicle. I might leave that now. What I would like is just to introduce a tiny bit of yellow in that section there, a yellowy green. There was just a bit too much white space. Okay, and now I said this one was going to be like a berry one. Visually it would look nice, but I was just thinking then, oh, I'm not sure I'd go for red currant popsicles. I don't think my kids would. I want to keep it quite loose. No, I like a bit of both happening in there. Maybe one here. Right, I think it's time for the popsicle sticks, which is just kind of beige, a warm beige. So add a little bit more, tiny bit of blue, blue-green. Yeah, I think that's about it. And pop those in underneath, and I will add a few more other bits to define it better. I think on one side it will be a tiny bit darker, just to show that that side is in shadow. Mix up a browny red, and I'm just going to place this on one side of the popsicle stick, on the left hand side. So I'm not outlining it. Some of it is getting mixed up with what I've just placed on there. That popsicle stick is a little bit fat, but it's fine. I can live with that. That looks pretty good. Pleased with them. I think overall I had such a lot of fun with these. I could probably fill several pages with just popsicles of all different shapes, sizes and fruit slices inside them, because there's so many varieties and I could really have a lot of fun. And I'm not sure what my favourite is. It might be this pink grapefruit, where I was able to pick out some slices from all the weird textures that were happening.